she's got to be a lot more careful given who she is and her past criminal history.
All right, well, let's move on over to Teresa Giudice, because she has steadily been making progress to settle her debts after she was served a $17,000 tax lien. So her attorney said Ms. Giudice has been aware of her tax obligations for years and makes significant timely monthly payments towards her outstanding tax liabilities, and will continue to do so until those liabilities no longer exist. So according to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, she was notified about the lien last month. She has an unpaid balance of over $1 million. And of course, we know she went to jail. She was indicted on, her and her ex-husband, Joe Giudice, were indicted on multiple counts of tax fraud back in 2013. She was there for 11 months while he served 41 months behind bars and then was deported to Italy. So how do you not realize that you have a $17,000 tax lien when you went to jail for tax fraud?
Seriously, Christina. And when you're talking about tax cases, there's sort of three levels in increasing severity. The first is, we all know, it's an audit, right? It's an administrative process. The second is a civil case where the IRS sues you civilly. And the worst, of course, is a criminal case where the Department of Justice prosecutes you. And tax law is one of the few areas of law that you actually have to generally know what you're doing is unlawful before you're prosecuted criminally. Normally, ignorance of the law isn't a defense. So here's someone that's had a history of tax problems and still continues to have tax problems. And we all know that Uncle Sam gets paid first. You can have multiple liens on your house, you can have a mortgage, this, that. Generally, those tax liens, those are first in line, so you've got to take care of them.
So is this just negligence on her part, or is she having bad advice from people, bad advisors? What do you think is the case here?
Yeah, Christina, I have no idea what she's thinking or who's telling her. Clearly, she has a lawyer. Sometimes people don't follow their lawyer's advice. Sometimes they're getting bad advice. But I mean, Teresa, your husband already got deported. I mean, these are serious offenses. I mean, you gotta take these tax issues seriously, right, especially when you're under the radar.
I was going to say she's probably high alert, I would imagine, after being arrested for this, went to jail for this. I'm sure people are watching.
Exactly. And look, when it comes to these tax cases, the IRS doesn't have the resources to go after everyone. So it's well known that they'll take some high profile individuals, make an example of them to send a message to deter other people from doing so. So she's got to be a lot more careful given who she is and her past criminal history.
Right. But since she's making the timely payments, should she be worried about history repeating itself, or she's okay?
Yeah, as long as you have some sort of either court-ordered restitution or some sort of agreement with the IRS and you're making payments, you should be okay. One of the good things about this country is if you have a debt, if it's a civil debt, generally speaking, you don't go to jail if you don't pay that debt. So as long as you're kind of complying, you're not knowingly and intentionally violating the law, committing additional crimes, she should be okay.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.